that's what she was from. And I remember as she was a young girl, she was really good at what she did. And, you know, I'm really proud of her. What her new song is just one of my favorites.
Tara, you know, it absolutely disgusts me. I turn on the TV every day, and I'm either hearing about The Rock or I'm hearing about Justin Bieber. It's not, and by the way, you know, there's been a lot of controversy about this whole Rock thing. You know, The Rock back, taking the WWE title to Hollywood. You know, I'm a huge supporter of this. I think that it was great The Rock came back because he really had to come back and do what he did. You know, if he didn't come back and do what he did, I think that, you know, fans would still be criticizing it, but at least now, 10 years from now, people can say, you know, he came back after so long. He did what he had to do. He solidified his legacy, and I honestly believe The Rock is definitely one of the top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time, because if you look at his career accomplishments, he's done a lot.
Oh, man, he did, like, movies. He did, like, Walking Tall. He did, like, movies like The Tooth Fairy. Like, he's, like, kid-oriented. He is so, like, Dwayne Johnson did such a great job. I think he's hilarious. He's a really good actor. And
he's awesome. He's just incredible. I think that everything that you're saying about him is awesome. And I think what we should do have is a geriatric match at WrestleMania 30. Justin Bieber versus Dwayne Johnson, and have The Rock and Justin Bieber all together.
Hey, let's make a deal out of it. You could go, baby,
if you go back, if you go back to the 2011 promo The Rock did when he returned, he mentioned Justin Bieber, and he got such a huge pop from the crowd. That sets the stage just as effectively as CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin from the WWE 13 video game.
Redneck Island?
That was amazing. And then he started talking about how John Cena looked like someone who was shot at Barney the Dinosaur's anus, which was incredible.
Yeah.
Another thing that's on my mind too, Abby, I don't know if you saw it, but the Batman movie from 2012, The Dark Knight Rises, and, you know, I saw this movie
Are you talking about the one with
a couple of months ago. Yeah, not the one with Heath Ledger, the new one with the guy
new one.
that plays
The new one was okay.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. Now, basically what happens in this movie is Batman dies, for those of you that didn't see it. Now, if you follow the comics, of course, Batman has a son. He kills Robin. Then Batman and his son go to war. You know, basically, here I am sitting down a couple of months ago watching this movie. 3 o'clock in the morning, Batman dies, and I'm like, you know, this can't be. I was severely depressed. You know, I went into an exile for, you know, months after I saw this movie. So if anybody out there has any information on the next Batman movie or what is the next chapter, let me know. You know, save me from my depression. I really want to know if there's another Batman movie coming. Do you think this is it, or do you think that
there might be coming out with more? You never know. Yeah, I can always you know.
There is good news about it, though, Abby. There is a new Batman game coming out, the follow-up to Arkham City, called Batman Origins. So I'm really looking forward to that too. I just got the new Batman game the other day, and just to give you a quick review of it, it is awesome. It's the Injustice Gods Among Us game, and it's got a full-length story. You play as each character of the Justice League, and it has some of the best graphics ever for a Batman game. So that gave me a little bit of satisfaction because now I know that, you know, Batman's legacy is still living on. You know, it's living on just as effectively as Wacko Bob's legacy is on the radio here. Now, what is this, show 1557?
I don't know. I don't know, man, but this is actually next week is going to be the special Wacko Bob 5 years in the making here on Blog Talk Radio. Me finally doing it. It's a little bit late, but I'm celebrating 5 years here on Blog Talk Radio, so that's going to be a lot of fun there too. But if I may jump back here, as far as Selena Gomez goes, all of us, I know, were hoping and praying that Selena Gomez would not take the Miley Cyrus route on everything, and you know, as far as direction goes and everything. And I think Miley has really sold herself out to the Hollywood system in a lot of ways, you know. But Selena Gomez getting back with Justin Bieber, I think, you know, I think we're still talking about childlike love here, you know, because they're still both fairly young. He's actually younger than her, you know. So I mean, you know, there's probably still those general feelings for each other. But this is something that could really hurt her career in a lot of ways. Look what happened to Whitney Houston for all the years that she didn't break up with
Don't bring that up, please. I'll stop calling.
Bobby Brown and everything, you know. Bobby Brown's career wasn't eclipsed. Whitney Houston was still a star, but then her star started to fall and everything too. And I think Hollywood has manipulated the system to really be that, to really want to cause a divorce, you know, and basically cause what would have been a broken family in a lot of ways.
Let me stop you right there for 1 second, Bob. Back to Batman, you said, there, John. I did find it for you. 2014.
2014. What happens in 2014? If I live to see 2014, what will I see?
You will see Batman Beyond.
What is this? Does Batman live on, or does somebody else take over the Batman legacy?
Somebody takes over the Batman legacy. It says right here on YouTube.
Oh, great. Well, you know what? You are my #1 girl now because you saved me from months of depression. You know, I went into exile. Nobody heard from me on Blog Talk Radio because I was trying to find Batman. If you remember back in 2003 when Eric Bischoff went on a crusade to find Stone Cold Steve Austin, I went on a crusade ever since December to find Batman, and now I have finally come to the end of the road, and now I can come out of exile. Thank you very much, Abby, for that.
You're very welcome, sir.
Maybe that's why that guy went on that spree on for the Dark Knight in Colorado.
Maybe that's why I'm so smart. What I did for you there, Jonathan, I did this. I typed in Batman 4, and then it said Batman and Robin 4, and it says Batman Beyond. When he actually dies, he has his son take over.
Okay, I'm going to...
Great, perfect.
Okay, I'm going to expand the show here a little bit here because we only got 15 minutes left, and we do have a few callers here, and I'm going to get to the 502. Ben from Ben's Tech Tips and Helps is back on, and Ben, you got Jonathan Clarke along here with us. What's on your mind?
Hey guys. Well, what I thought, I want to bring up the Justin Bieber thing again and give my opinion. Well, I'll tell you, Justin Bieber, I really have a strong offense to the guy, and I think that what he's doing, like Bob said, is just wrong, and I think it was a bad move on Gomez's part. Now, I know very little of the two, but like you all said, I just don't foresee it as being a big uplead in either of their careers, and I've heard a little bit of their music, and I have to say, as a rock guy, I think it's just obtruse and everything, and I just think that this could be a big step back rather than a step sideways or a step forward, and, you know, it's just, I think it's going to take them on a trajectory that'll end up being really bad rather than a good step forward in their musical life and also in their personal. And that's just my take on it. And I think it's good. On another note,
I tell you what, Ben.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining the cult of Justin Bieber haters. You know, Jonathan Clarke calls in, he raises a couple of topics, and then we get a lawsuit from different people. So we want to put out over the microphone first, before we continue here, that these are just the views and opinions of the people that are calling in, not necessarily the views and opinions of this entire radio show or Bob. So if Bob does get a lawsuit, I guess we'll have to go from there. But I think that, you know, you're absolutely right. You know, I think that, you know, Justin Bieber really needs to reevaluate himself. You know, Bob mentioned the whole Miley Cyrus thing. The thing about people like Miley and Justin, they kind of put themselves out there on Twitter to be noticed. Just the other day when Miley released the single We Can't Stop, there were a lot of drug references apparently in the song. And she tweeted the other day that a lot of people are judging me. Well, if you don't want people to judge you, my response to that would be, you know, don't put out songs that actually refer to drugs so that you're put on the spot and mentioned all the time. They're doing things to be publicized, and in essence, they're doing it in a negative way. What do you think, Ben?
I think you're right. I think that, well, let me put this in a little perspective, if I may. You know how back in the 70s they were always singing about sex, drugs, and rock and roll? This is sort of like sex, drugs, and rap, in a sense, in my perspective. And, I mean, all these new songs, for example, they're sort of like that to me in a way. You know, they're like sex and drugs mixed in with some different genre, and it's like, now I'm not saying all songs are like that, but majority of them are. And I think that's kind of the message that in her dress and her music and everything, that's what I think she's doing. And I don't see that. And I think all the kids that listen to their music nowadays, it sounds like it came out of a computer that took a really bad dump and said, get this thing out of me. And that's what I think. And I'm not saying that to be obtruse or anything. That's my perspective. And I think that a lot of this music is just sending the wrong message to kids and adults. And it's just, I don't think that people should technically be listening to something like that. And that's just how I feel. And if kids really want to listen to that, that's their choice. But I think it's just filling their heads with the wrong message. And I don't know why people would argue that, but it's just, I mean, there's so many sex and drugs-filled songs, and I know that a lot of rock and roll